Welcome to the Girl Out of Order podcast. I'm back. You may have noticed that the Girl Out of Order podcast has been silent for the last 2 months. If you're a new listener, welcome to the show. We are so happy to have you here. But if you've been listening for any length of time, you have noticed that the mic actually went silent. And I took a pause. I took a breath. I took a beat. Take a whatever you want to fill in the blank. That's what I took. And I am now back with more energy, more clarity, and more enthusiasm for where this community is headed. So let me give you a little bit of a breakdown as to where I went, why I went there, and of course, most excitedly, where we are going from here. So I did not disappear, sisters. I did not go silent because I was lost. I definitely did not abandon you because I lost my passion for the podcast. Here's what happened. I paused because I started listening. This did not happen because I was burned out. This did not happen because I was confused. And I definitely never intended to quit. Hear me. For whatever season you're in, whatever project you're in the middle of, or planning or plotting, sometimes, sister, the most responsible thing that a woman can do is stop talking long enough to hear herself again. And that's what I did. That's what I did. I needed to stop talking because my soul needed to listen more. But Girl Out of Order is back. We are back, sisters. And I've got such a beautiful plan for 2026 that I'm going to explain in a few moments. But I want to tell you this. We're not back louder. We're not back faster. This isn't about frenetic energy. Christine Gale is back. Girl Out of Order is back with a clearer, deeper, and more intentional vision for this community than I have ever had in my 4 years. Gosh, is it 4 years? Almost 5 years of existence. So let me tell you, let me say it this way. I want to recast the vision of what Girl Out of Order is and what Girl Out of Order is not. Because there's one thing that I've noticed over the last 5 years of podcasting is this market, when I first started, or this medium rather, when I first started podcasting was relatively new. There was podcasts for sure, but now there is a flood of podcasts. I don't know if you noticed at Christmas, but even grandma's got a podcast. Aunt Marge has got a podcast. Uncle Bobby's doing a fishing podcast. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there. It's not real people. Trust me. But what I've noticed is that there is so much noise in the podcast space that frankly, even though I never intended to quit, I did give some consideration as to whether or not I was making any difference. If there was even anybody that cared what Girl Out of Order has to say, what Christine has to say, if I was making an impact on the lives of women, which is what I feel called to do. Because when there are thousands of podcasts that you can choose from every day, my goodness, I'm even overwhelmed, and I'm a podcaster. I'm so honored that you paused and gave a listen here because I want to offer you so much value for you, the woman who wants to own her identity. For the woman who may be going through a transition in life and just looking in the mirror and saying, this can't be all there is. Or for that woman who is so exhausted, she feels like a shadow of herself. I feel called to serve you. I have a message that I know that is divinely guided because when I took the pause and I considered whether or not to continue with this medium, God brought so many people into my life in the last 2 months to tell me, oh my gosh, that episode that you did on fill in the blank really helped me when I was going through this. Why haven't I heard from you? What is going on? I miss your voice. And not my voice itself, because seriously, whatever. But it's the message of Girl Out of Order. It's the cultivation of bravery to do the ongoing identity work. It's the inspiration to live boldly. And importantly, it is the building of the bridges between all women, because this world is hurting and we need each other. That's what people feel called back to. And as I was thinking about what Girl Out of Order is, and if I wanted to continue with this medium, I was having lunch with a soccer mom friend of mine. And if you're listening, I hear you, Elisa. This one's for you. And I said to her, my gosh, you look so bright and energetic and grounded. And I had just could tell just by her energy that she had truly, she had really changed her life. She was definitely in a different place. And she said, your podcast made all the difference. And I couldn't believe what she was saying. I knew she was a listener, but to know that I had even a tiny bit of influence on helping her get unstuck and get to this energetic, beautiful, fulfilled place, I thought, okay, it's time to plug the mic back in. It's time to put on the goofy headphones that help me do a better job with the technology. It's about creating a plan for this year so you know what to expect. I want to give you clear expectations. Yes, we need to flex sometimes, and sometimes there's events that come up in the world. There's things I might want to speak to, but for the most part, Girl Out of Order has a 2026 plan that is unfolding, and I can't wait to share it with you. I'm so excited. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, so I'm going to pull it back, and I'm going to talk about what the meaning of Girl Out of Order is, because I really, truly do want to recast this vision. I mean, for freak's sake, it's the beginning of January. We're recasting, revisioning, rewriting, recommitting. We're doing all the REs, so why not recast the vision for Girl Out of Order? I created Girl Out of Order in 2021 because I needed this. I remember Tony Robbins saying he created Date with Destiny because that's the program he needed. I created this community because I needed a place where I could be brave, where I could create and own and fall in love with an identity that would lead me to a life that was beyond anything I had ever imagined. And I created this community because I was exhausted from contorting myself to fit all these expectations and molds that were never designed for Christine Gale. It was never about fixing yourself, sister. You are not freaking broken. Girl Out of Order has always been about telling the truth when the old rules not only stopped working, but became suffocating. When the expectations that you had been moving within felt like a straitjacket and you wanted to fly. That's what Girl Out of Order is for. That's why we're here. This is a space for the woman, as I said, who's going through a life transition and she's lost sight of herself. This is for the woman who's left a job, had a diagnosis, going through a divorce, experiencing relational breakdown, like me going through menopause. That's so much fun. It's for that woman who feels restless or misaligned, who knows that not fitting in is really where she's going to find her peace when she stops calling it failure. Girl Out of Order is a place for women, for some women who feel like, look, I checked all the boxes. I did everything right. I had the home, the job, the kids, fill it in the blank. And I feel like something is still missing because you're not living in alignment with who you truly are. You do not feel like you are owning your identity. You feel like you're living in somebody else's skin. Here's what Girl Out of Order will never be about. I will never put pressure on you to reinvent yourself. I will never call you to hustle harder. This isn't about the hustle culture that is so, 2000 whatever. It's so old. This is not about performative healing. I'm not giving you pat answers. And girl, as I sit here at the beginning of January recording, this is not new year, new you. Okay. We've all heard that. And those are beautiful. I don't mean to be flippant, but that's not what Girl Out of Order is for. Here's what we are doing. We are creating a space for women who are ready to live in a way that actually fits who they are and, this is the key phrase, are becoming. Because the identity work is not a project, it is a process and it never ends. And it's always inviting us to a new level, to step out of our comfort zone, to be brave, be bold, take chances so we can grow and stretch and contribute and live an even more compelling life. Because until the day God calls you home, you are not done growing. This is a space for the woman who feels so tired of being told she's just too much, but never feeling like she's ever going to be enough. This is a space for the woman who is ready to build a life of authenticity, a life of expansion, and a life of connection. Because here at Girl Out of Order, we aren't just a podcast, we are a community, and we are growing. And we are going to continue to grow and impact this world because Lord knows we need it more than ever before. So let me give you a little bit of more insight into why I paused, because maybe I'm speaking to the woman who's considering her own pause. So I want you to understand a little bit about my journey as I then cast the vision for what's to come. I paused at the beginning of November because, sister, I could feel myself outgrowing old rhythms. I could feel myself looking at the podcast mic and feeling drained instead of excited. Even the good rhythms were no longer feeling aligned with where I was going because I was evolving and expanding in ways that even I didn't expect. And after launching our last 2 babies and becoming empty nesters, that was a real opportunity that I took to do some evaluation of what I really wanted, what my highest values were, and make sure that what I was doing with my life and my time and my passion was actually going to serve the greater good, including my own greater good. When we served as crew for Tony Robbins at his Unleash the Power Within event in October, my eyes were opened even bigger to the joy of serving and the vibrancy of being connected to a community where people are focused on growing and contributing and doing the work and looking within and unleashing their next level. I got excited because I had never served in that capacity. At that time, at that event, I could feel a call on my spirit to release some things that I needed to let go of for a time so that I could create space for what's coming. And then in November, I went to Austin with my True Legacy Collective sisters, my TLC mastermind with Lauren LaHave. And at that event, it was health and business. And it was at my friend Keisha's ranch. And the last episode in November was with the interview with Keisha. If you have not listened to that episode, go back, because that woman is such an incredibly badass entrepreneur with bold vision who took a lot of great chances on her life. And being at her ranch cracked me open in ways I didn't anticipate. I formatted at that event an incredible vision for creating my speaking business in 2026. And then I followed that up just a couple days later by having the opportunity to speak at the My Vegas Women's Luncheon. And let me tell you, the impact I was able to have on those women in such a tiny amount of time, just by speaking my story and sharing what I've learned, I was freaking hooked. And it solidified my need to pause and get clear on what's next. And then in December, I immersed myself again in Date with Destiny. Only this time we got to go in person, Sean and I. And I got to tell you, the work that I did there, the connections of the people that I made, the energy that flowed through me and around me and into me honored my pause even more. And it helped me rewrite some really incredible questions and visions that I already had, because it's all about the next level for me right now. And I am truly listening for the clarity call of this community. Did I consider hanging it up? I did. I seriously did. But like I said, the message and the mission of Girl Out of Order transforms lives. And it's needed more than ever before, because I feel like there was such a time when I started podcasting was all these women hustling for the next thing and building the business and launching the brands and all the streams of incomes and launching the courses and doing all the things and blah, blah, blah. And all of that was great. But I feel like there's a pulling back and a collective inhale. Three of my favorite podcasters actually quit podcasting this year. One has restarted, interestingly, but two of the biggest podcasters, female podcasters in the world, have said, I'm taking a break, going in a different direction. I do think there's a collective inhale that's going on, and it's just the right time for me to show up because my energy is different. And I want to tell you what this work's going to be about. And then I'm going to give you the vision for what's to come. And then we're going to take a breath and get excited about what's next. Girl Out of Order, like I said, is about identity. There's so many podcasts out there with all kinds of wonderful focuses. The focus of this podcast is about creating an identity, cultivating bravery to do the identity work. This is not about motivation. And like I said, identity is it's a process. This isn't a project you complete and check off, sister. The beautiful work is never complete and the growth never tops out. Because what I'm realizing in my own daughters, as well as the women in the community I serve, is that women do not need any more strategies. What they need is orientation and connection. I'm not here to be your hype woman, sister, although I do love me a little bit of hype, and I will hype you from time to time for sure. But the call on my life is to help women come home to themselves. I'm not interested in helping women do more with a fractured sense of self. I am interested and committed to helping women live from who they truly are. So let me tell you where we're going with Girl Out of Order, and then we'll wrap it up. For 2026, we are going to have a seasonal structure. It's going to be broken down into 3 seasons. The first season, I'm already ready to go, super excited about, and that's going to run from January to April. So season 1, well, let me just back up a little bit. The seasonal structure is different than what I've done before. But I've chosen to move in seasons because that's what we women do. We have seasons of our lives. And I really think I know. There's no thinking, there's knowing. There's a knowing that having a seasonal structure is going to lead to more clarity. You're going to know what to expect, and you're going to get excited about what's next. Because we do not grow in straight lines, sisters. We grow in cycles, and we need different conversations at different times of the year and different seasons of our lives. So season 1 is going to run from January to April, and it's releasing, reclaiming, and rewriting. During this season, we are going to let go of outdated stories. We're going to reclaim our voice, our values, and our agency. And then we're going to start rewriting our identity from that place of rooted truth. Now, season 2 is still unfolding, but I'm going to give you a little bit of insight, a little forecast. Right now, it's going to run from May to August, and it's about embodying, it's about expanding, and it's about enjoying. Where I see this season going is helping you by bringing in guests and having solo episodes on living what you've already claimed because you've already listened to season 1, right? It's going to help you expand your relationships. It's going to help you expand in areas of your finances and your health and your mission. It's going to help you expand your impact. And then because it's freaking summer, it's going to be about allowing and the joy and the pleasure and the playfulness, sister, without guilt, because we got to be done with that guilt. Life is so much fun. We need to be enjoying it. So here's the thing. I am so excited about this seasonal structure. I'm so excited. Let me speak directly to you. If you're listening and you don't feel ready for this year yet, I want to let you know something. Girl Out of Order is not here to rush you. I'm here to support you. I'm back with enthusiasm and clarity because that's my word for 2026, baby. It's clarity. I am going to be a woman who shows up and helps you know when to expect me to be there. I'm not here to rush you. I'm here to invite you. So here's the other thing. I am showing up in the Girl Out of Order Facebook community every single Monday at 12 p.m. I'm going live. And I want to invite you into the community because just like the Girl Out of Order podcast paused, so did the community. And I know that the Facebook communities aren't the end all be all of everything, but right now we have hundreds of women that have joined that community and we want you there. We need your voice and we are going to be showing up every Monday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time to just have a chat. We're going to go live. We're going to interact. And I got to tell you, I'm not only going to be speaking on what I'm hearing from you, I'm going to be speaking on what's on my heart and providing value and a grounding and a forecasting for how you can live as a girl out of order in these crazy times. As the year unfolds, we will be offering more opportunities for the women in that community to connect. We're going to start having workshops where we can all join and learn about a topic. And my gosh, we're just going to have times where we can all just hop on a call and share. I miss that so much. We did that so much in Unleash Your Power Within, and I really miss those community calls. So we're going to be doing more community calls as well. I cannot wait. Girl Out of Order Facebook community is a place for you. So if you haven't joined, we'd love to see you. Click on the link in the show notes and you will be taken right in there. No permissions needed. And I want to tell you, this is truly a global community. The podcast community in particular, I have had women download this podcast from Bangladesh to Uzbekistan, from Portland, Oregon to Miami, Florida. This is a global community and we want you there. So girl, thank you for hanging in there with me. If you are returning, I appreciate you showing back up and giving us another listen. Thank you for understanding that sometimes this girl just needs to pause. And I hope you can hear in my voice that I have so much more passion, so much more clarity, and so much more rootedness in the message of Girl Out of Order. I'm back. This space is intentional. And this year, this 2026 year, girl, is about choosing yourself without apology. So here's what you can expect next week in episode 2. We are going to talk about why you might not feel ready for this year yet and why that does not mean that you are behind. Because if you're like me, you've been watching so many people out there with their vision boards and their 10 commitments and their plans for the year, and you might be feeling a little bit behind. Well, tune in next week because I'm going to give you some amazing news. You are right on time. And so am I. So welcome back to Girl Out of Order, where fitting in, girl, is often the clearest sign that you are exactly where you're meant to be. If this episode moved you in any way, please share it with everybody you know. Let's build this community because we are so much better when we are together. And if you wouldn't mind, please go in and give us a review. If we're going to grow this community, we need your help. I'm so excited to be back and I cannot wait to see you next week. 2026 is going to be truly epic for you, for me, and for our entire community because the world needs what only you can provide. I'll see you next week.